Hey. It's been way too long since kind of a last public facing video that I put out there. So time for another one. And the reason I did it is I just want to say kudos to the whole industry. I'll name out everyone who was a part of it. But today there was a collaborative group of really solid real estate agents from all over the area, but primarily Delco. And they put on a good show. They really did. And I don't mean to say it's a show, but they're actually there trying to help other agents. And this is such an industry that I personally believe has always gotten a bad rap. And it's impressive. It truly is, because they are your competition. When you're in real estate and you're working with other people, if you're going for a listing and someone else gets it, that's your competition. But then again, many of us are on both sides of this, and they are then working collaboratively. So shout out to Tony Sloom. You said that beautifully in there. I will tag some people and put some people here, but I wanted to go over some things because this market it's insane. There's no better way to put that. And sorry, I'm filming in my office, and we're back. Sorry about some of the noise in the background. Some of the beautiful aspects of working from home does deal with kids, and I don't want to jump right into it, but now I kind of do. That is one of the main things about working in this industry and working for yourself that was touched on by everybody there today was really work-life balance. And I view it more as a pendulum. Sometimes you're way over here and it's not balanced, and then you bring it back and you really just kind of, my personal opinion, go back and forth. But let me just go over everything. So the number one thing, everybody's kind of asking about it, when's the market going to change? We don't know. Rates are going up. And I think everybody mentioned, what is the biggest problem? I have my notes right here. The biggest problem is inventory. I mean, there's a very seasoned agent on the panelist, and I think they have one listing right now. I didn't go back and look at the facts, but that person might have had 10 or 15 or who knows, 20 listings 5 years ago. So to go from that and to go where we are now is a very scary market for a lot of different reasons. We're not even going to touch on inspections and all of that, but it's, it makes me nervous. And the main thing I wanted to get across is there was a lot of new agents there, still learning, probably doing all right. But this is our jobs. We can go out, we can work, we can show clients places. Most agents do not get paid until that commission check comes in, as we all know. And it's good. It motivates people. It really drives them forward. But again, if there's nothing else going on and one of your deals that was going to happen falls apart and something goes south, it's just very scary. So I'm always a big proponent of have another source of income. And it doesn't have to be massive. I'm going to say investment properties and real estate yourself and whatnot from that standpoint, but really think about that. Because I did kind of sit in the back and see who was there. There was a lot of new agents. And this is the only market they know. They don't know 5 years ago when we could negotiate and really get seller's assist and get a lot of other things. So it was interesting to see that. But that is the biggest problem, inventory. There's not enough houses out there for people to sell. I mean, it's insane. And we feel bad too because we want to help. And sometimes we really can't. You'll have to adjust your price point, adjust your expectations. I was on a phone call today with someone now, fantastic. They're handy and they have some contractor connections. So basically, they're going to look at some houses that need some work. They didn't want to do that, but they're adjusting. So one of my main takeaways for agents, for clients, for everybody in there, mortgage lenders, inspectors, everybody in the whole industry, you have to be willing to adjust. And many of us that have been around now for a while, which is true, it's something that, just makes sense. It's a necessity. I'll call out John Port. He, I think he said it years ago and he mentioned it a few times. 2007 was a really bad time. And I think we were at some mastermind group, maybe with Drew Farnese, and that's what he said. Hey, when times were bad back then, there was agents that he knew and we knew, and they were making a lot of money. And then guess what? They're out of the business. I think he might have said they were working for UPS or FedEx or whatever, because when things change, it's tough. And just circling back to that point, make sure you're working with a good agent. There's a lot of them out there. Do your research. I mean, if you're not, it can be bad because you're not put in the best light when your offer goes in. There may not be that collaboration. And I'll shoot me notes, anything in here, you can absolutely, a YouTube comment, anything you can ask me about. I want to be completely transparent too. And there are good agents out there that collaborate and really want to help people at the end of the day. So that's a good thing. Now, just going down, inventory stinks. We know that. How to work around the current market conditions and how to get offers accepted. If you're not the best offer or up there, it's kind of hard. A few of them mentioned, I won't call them out. Also, you got to be respectful to who the listing agent is. They don't want their phone ringing a million times to ask a bunch of different questions. A lot of that are listed in the agent notes that only agents see. So just something to keep in mind, who a good agent is, or how good they are or who they know, and just do your homework. I mean, I really, really mean that. If you do your homework and see some of their background, it can probably get you over that. And I'm going to call out, Sean Askin. So a client that came my way through a mutual friend years ago when I worked at JP Morgan, he missed out on many, 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 many houses. And this was, I believe, an 18-month process. And then our mutual friend said, give Matt a call. So we did. And is there an element of luck, how things play out? I think there is. But overall, it's not just luck. You can look at it. There is no magic baseball card out there that you can flip over, and I've said this before, and you can see an agent's stats. You can do a little bit of that, pull it together, and kind of figure that out. But at the end of the day, see who the agents are listing houses and see who they are on the other side, and you can kind of piece it together. It's not, readily available, but ask. If I'm ever on a listing appointment, I bring up the MLS. I turn the computer around. I show the folks what's going on. I was helping out a colleague today too, and she was asking me, with this crazy market, not going to call out names, we already signed a listing contract that was too high. And then she got the phone call that they want to go even higher. That is very, 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 very dangerous in this market. Personal opinion, let the market drive up a price. Don't jump on an offer and accept it, of course. But, I talked to her for quite some time, and that can be dangerous. It really can, because then something's sitting and people won't go see it because they know what the market is. And they're like, why is this on for 10 days, 15 days, 30 days? And it's a different side of it, And one of the panelists said too, hey, 3-4 days and we don't have an offer yet. Like, we start getting nervous. Like, it's just different times, and it will change. So align with a good agent. Obviously, I think I said that a few times. I'm going to post something after a settlement of mine coming up. It's 111 Ardmore in Broomall. I will definitely post a separate video about that and letting people know how we put together a really good win-win situation. And the seller had a number in their mind. Probably could have brought a buyer at that number and quick, easy deal. Great. But again, here's the number in mind. She basically ended up getting this. So again, remind me about that, but I'll probably add another link for that. Where to get listings. Offer value. So some of the people danced around it. Obviously, no one wants to give you their quote-unquote secret sauce, but I don't think there's a secret sauce. Everybody up there and everybody that's really surviving and thriving in this industry is a hard worker. They really, really are. At this time and how long this market's been so strained, they're all hard workers, the ones at the top. So keep that in mind, but offer value. Because it came around, hey, here's a listing, we can get it, but then they got to buy a house. So if they sell their house, are they going to live in an Airbnb? Or are they then going to, put on their buyer cap and be like, oh, great, now I'm one of those buyers out there where we just throw in an offer and we're one of 30, one of 40? It's very, very dangerous because you can't guarantee someone's going to get a home in this market. So certain things you can do, when you list it, you can be flexible and either do a rent back. But I mean, all this stuff to me is fairly commonplace. And as deep as we are into this market, most people know it, most good agents. You got to be one step ahead of the curve. So years ago, when we got into 3D and mapping houses well before COVID, that was ahead of the curve. So ahead of the curve is something I haven't been putting out there, moving trucks and places where people can live. I have Airbnbs. I have a client, Tim and Sherry, both of them, really tough with the house they were buying. They had nowhere to go. So I had someone move out of one of my houses, and there you go. So I think they were in there for a month or two. So having someone that has the ability to get creative and problem solve at a higher level is somebody you want to align yourself with in this market. Because otherwise, what are they doing for you? You know, if they're listing a house and sticking a sign in the ground, getting pictures. I'm not knocking anything, but you really need to go above and beyond. I put on my my actual contractor hat legitimately and helped a seller take out 2 rooms of carpet that were hideous. You know, I'm not gonna lie, they were hideous. And I did that. You know, she was looking for a contractor, somebody couldn't get someone. I said, listen, I'll take care of it. So that is what I mean by going above and beyond. You really want someone that will do those things. So that's where to get listings, working together. It was mentioned by everybody there today. Working together is huge. You never know which side of the fence you're going to be on. You don't want to blow up someone's phone and say, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on? I mean, remember, we try to check out too as agents. It's really, really hard. And I think I've talked or have spoken a lot faster over the last 2 years because there really is that sense of urgency. So just keep that in mind. And again, I'll always help my clients and other people kind of gauge that. And it was said too, nobody wants to jam anybody up. That's not what we're trying to do. You know, we're trying to give everyone fair time to see something, present offers, read what's in there that the listing agent describes. And that is, you know, is one of the most important things. We really are crafting an offer to both the seller when we're on the buyer side and the listing agent. So always, always, always work well with them. And that's the whole collaborative approach, which really is ingrained in this industry. So it's relationships. Yeah, even if you don't know the other agent, make sure you research them, see what's going on. And it's funny, you know, a lot of times people will put in offers and they want this and this and this and this. And a lot of it's the initial consultation. You don't let the new buyers know how bad the market is. And I don't mean bad in that way. Obviously, it's great for sellers, but how strained it is and constrained. It is not good. And I let people know that upon meeting, like right out of the gate. I normally ask, do you have any family or friends that have recently bought or sold? And that normally starts the conversation to let them know, yeah, I did. Yeah, this person was trying to buy a house and it took forever. So that is why I say, you know, some buyers, I get transferred to me after they worked with someone else and they just give up and they might have put 5, 6, 7 offers in. So by the time they then get to me, you know, if they're no longer working with the other agent, they do know what the deal is. They know how high they got to go. But even then, there's other offers that are even typically higher. So it really is just something you have to get your mind around and understand this is a very, very strained market. So I wanted to talk about that. Tough transactions. There's a lot of tough transactions. I'll give a shout out to Vanessa and I'll tag her in this. We actually did have inspections for one house and they did not turn out well. Nobody wanted to see that. She didn't, I didn't, the seller didn't, the buyer didn't, but it is what it is. So when they handle it, and I say they, other agents, with a certain level of professionalism and really trying to help, that is fantastic. I mean, everybody is strained, I said that, in this industry right now. It's true. And I am one that I only want to help. And other agents too, same thing. So she was one that really stood out in my mind. I don't think we worked together closely before. And she just set the bar for my mind for the level of professionalism that truly stands out in this industry. Because when she presents an offer, I know who I'm dealing with on the other side of the table. Again, it's just one of those good things. Let's see. Connect and help other clients. That's good. I'm going to talk about that. And agents. So I kind of mentioned that early on. Agents that are willing to help other agents and help other mortgage lenders and piece things together. So in the beginning of the event today, I was there and talked to quite a few people. That's what I did. There's a mortgage lender looking for somebody to join his team. And I have somebody that is looking to become a mortgage lender. So again, being a connector, a true connector within our industry, our clients, you know, everybody, those circles kind of definitely overlap. And that sweet spot, if you can be a true connector, it helps everyone. And that's something that keeps going on, because they did mention closing gifts and I dropped the biggest ball ever on closing gifts and all that stuff. I'll admit it. But again, I'd rather do things my way. That's the truth. We don't want to feel like it's a 9-to-5 job and we're working someone else's way. Let's work our way. And John, you said that beautifully during the panelist interviews. You know, not everyone's cup of tea. But when you really appeal to someone and they have the same mindset, it just clicks and you work really well together. And Tony Saloom, you said that too, which was great. You know, if you want to go try and do what someone else is doing, it may not work. So I totally get that. We all try to do our own thing, not necessarily stay in our lane, but that's it, because then we're real. You can't really try everything. You got to kind of go through it, figure out what works well for you, and then grow and, you know, kind of make that happen. So that's that. Time block was huge. I'm a big proponent of that. Many different calendars, but they all integrate into one. So I have that on there. I think it was Megan who said that, but that was great. And let's see, time block, talk about investing. We didn't talk about investing. So I mentioned that in the beginning a little bit. Agents should. I mean, we're out there day in and day out dealing with real estate. We should invest. I firmly believe that. And if you're not, there needs to be a reason why you're not. And one of the reasons right now is this market is not the best. I get it. So that is a true reason, but you can still find a deal. You can make a deal happen. And if you're not, and then you're trying to make a deal happen for a client, but you don't necessarily do it for yourself in some capacity, I would begin to question how good you are at negotiating or bringing deals together or finding complicated solutions. Because if you're not doing it for yourself on an investment or some other type of angle, how are you going to do it for a client? I mean, it's the age-old thing. I say it now. You know, if someone's really trying to knock you down for where your commission is in certain things, if you can't negotiate a good reason to work with someone and have that rate set for whatever it's set for, how are you going to negotiate when contracts come in and you're then helping the seller out? So again, I can go into a little bit more detail around that, but that's just my personal belief. Seller's Assist, I thought that was great. We don't have it anymore right now, but it will come back. It will come back. And I think, Tony, you mentioned that it was inspection reports, getting them and then writing up inspection replies. I had someone on my team too, no longer with us, but I don't think that person knew about it because every single deal they didn't have inspections. But the pendulum will come back where they are a very important part of getting an offer, you know, a win-win for the buyer and the seller. And we're not there right now, but it will come back. So Tony, I thought that was great because there are people that are like, what's an inspection reply? What's an inspection? And it's like, wow, you know, it's ebbs and flows. I mean, things change over time, of course, but I remember even one of my ex-teammates, it was like an engineering report, the one he wrote up. And it's like, you can't do that these days. It doesn't even fly. And on that note too, by the way, I'm slightly against them. I think a credit is the easiest way if all parties agree to move forward, because personal belief here, if you're buying a house and somebody's selling a house, well, and they're responsible for the repairs, I'm not going to say they're going to get the cheapest person, but they're just going to get it and get it done. You're then going to be living in the house. If that was me, I would prefer to be able to choose the contractors to complete the repairs on my house. Just a personal belief. I know many of us share that. So I wanted to touch on that. Seller's Assist, that still makes me laugh. Oh yeah, don't ever think real estate isn't hard work. It absolutely is hard work. Everybody in this, everybody at a high level, they're working hard. Mike McCann said it great. You know, he's still doing it at a high level. Does he have to? Probably not. I mean, I'm not going to judge, but he loves what he does. And again, I get off some very, very complicated phone calls sometimes, and I still like what I do. I really do. And that is the part where people understand. You know, years ago, I was on the other side of this, where really close friends, Dan and Jackie, of mine, just wanted a house. And we finally got one, and this might have been before they got married, 2012, I'm guessing. And they were fine. We negotiated, we got it. There was an inspection report and a reply. And they're like, we're good with this. And I'm like, I think we can get more. And oh, no. Okay. So I just asked, no harm in asking. The roof seems to be a little bad, back in the day. Could we ask for a roof credit? We got a whole new roof. And I think we lowered the price. So it doesn't hurt to ask. But why did I do that? The deal was already inked. We were basically already done. I did that because that's what I want to do. That's what I do. I treat every house as if it was my house. Whether being the buyer or the seller, when you really put yourself in those shoes, then you can make those decisions. And that's another thing. Really, really, really want to kind of make those decisions with, not for, with our clients. I really want to be trusted, and all of us do, because it's a lot easier then. I always joke, and I made the joke today, you know, you're not sitting there at surgery and you're questioning what the surgeon's doing. Now, I'm not going to, you know, compare the two fields. That's not fair. But somebody really high up at their craft or their profession or whatnot, you just want to give them the keys to the castle and let them run with it. You know, they make the decisions. That's why you're hiring them. And that's what I do. So again, helping them out back then and even today, you know, it's still the same. We had some great offers. Okay, we're good. That's great. Lock it up. Seems like a great offer. Well, what do we get in one more day? If we didn't set a deadline, of course, we may get something even better. And that is what I want to do. I don't want to just, okay, that's great, move on. That is, I think, the best thing I can do for my clients because it's real money. You know, a closing gift is a closing gift. I like them. I'm not here to knock them. But if I can get someone $5,000, $10,000 more selling their house, or really try my best to not go crazy high and still put a deal together for a buyer, that to me is the investing side of what we do, that I personally do, that I like. So I think that covered everything. Let me see, don't ever think real estate's not hard. It is hard. Balancing life, it's not easy to do that. And that's basically it. I just want to put that out there. Thank everyone. Big shout out to Leanne Sullivan. I know she helped put it together. The whole agent panel. I think Matt Curry was on it too. Anyway, just seeing the collaborative nature of it is fantastic. I'm somebody that likes to continuously improve and get better at things, but I didn't want to be in the lead and do things, so I like sitting in the back. Even the last year, some of the last events I went to for KW, I'm more sitting in the back of the room and take things in. And take notes and then share them with my team, with others. And that's what I did. But that was a big event. A lot of people there. Good to see some people face to face. And that's it. So I'll add some other things that I did record there, some really good shots. And we'll go from there. But any questions, reach out. And everyone take care.